poverty, reduction in travel time, reduction in human cost, improve safety and security on our roads. We are particularly grateful to His Excellency for making the completion of second Niger bridge and other projects a reality, and also giving the a hardworking and target-driven leader in the Honorable Minister, Buhari Pasola SAM. The nation will forever remember you as a great provider of infrastructure for rapid economic development. Finally, I would like to welcome once again Your Excellency and other invited guests to this ceremony. Thank you.
Mr. President and members of the Southeast and South-South and Southwest regions of Nigeria, today is a great day for us. It is a day we have all come together in joy and ecstasy, because we know what this bridge means to all of us. We know what it has meant for some of us who are politicians. It meant that since 1965, when Alhaji Tafawa Balewa and Dr. Anambra came and commissioned the original Niger bridge, which we are using today. Then after that, the need for a new bridge arose. We have been witnessing politicians coming here to make false promises. False promises and cutting away the people's votes. But we had a man called Buhari. In 2015, we brought him down here to the Southeast and South-South, especially in the Southeast, and he made a promise that he will give us a second Niger bridge. Today, it is a promise given and a promise kept. Mr. President, we are very grateful, and as Igbo say it, Igbo Ikweme, Igbo Okawome. All these are for people who, when they say something, they will do it. Mr. President, you have lifted a lot of load for some of us who followed you in 2015 when that promise was made. I was the Deputy Director General of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. And these promises were made in Asaba, in Oka, in Enugu, in Abakaliki, in Owerri, even in Port Harcourt and Uyo. Same promise. Because this bridge, in actual fact, signifies the major handshake between the East and the West, and the East and the North. These are the people that use this bridge. So I have to say, Mr. President, we are all grateful. And as you retire to your hometown, Dara, the dusty ancient town of Dara, let the good Lord bless you for what you've given to the Igbo people of southern Nigeria and other tribes that are here in the southwest and in the south-south. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Honorable Minister of State, Ibrahim Umar El Yaqub, and other ministers of states who have served with me, the Permanent Secretary and former Permanent Secretaries, directors serving and retired, and all the staff of the Ministry of Works and Housing, I am pleased to welcome all and sundry to this momentous day. It's a day where the federal government of Nigeria, working with the state governors, with senators and House of Representative members, with traditional rulers and with the people of Nigeria, a completed section of over 200 kilometers of road on the Kano-Kaduna Highway and 3 federal secretariats in Guzo, Oka, and Yerigua. Today, Mr. President will connect Benue to Nasarawa on the local Oweto Bridge, cross river to Benue on the Ecom Bridge, and Anambra to Delta on the second Niger Bridge, and literally connect many parts of Nigeria to themselves. Link Kano to Kaduna on the Kaduna Highway, on the Kaduna-Kano Highway, and we will impact Zamfara, Bayelsa, and Anambra again directly through their secretariats. This is a story of development and a story of people, all of which cannot be fully told here. But I will try, starting from the President himself, whose leadership, support, and opportunity afforded us to serve has made all this possible. There is the story of the cabinet members, from Vice President, and my colleagues, ministers in the cabinet, whose support for the various memoranda in council made these projects possible. Some of those memoranda that you spent hours to debate and approve have now yielded some fruit. Of course, there is a story of our legislators in both chambers of parliament who were part of this development. They appropriated, they approved where necessary, and oversighted all through the protest, but they never obstructed. There's a story of the state governors, their commissioners, and their traditional rulers. This story must be told about how the federal, state government, and traditional institutions can and must work together to deliver development and prosperity. The story of men and women who worked on these construction sites is an unforgettable one. Not only were these site places of employment for them to earn a living, to support their families, I saw in them men and women, boys and girls, involved in the dignifying and patriotic work of nation building. The story of the economic activity that took place at these sites is a most compelling one. Thousands of tons of construction materials, sand, cement, diesel, reinforcement, bitumen, aggregates were bought, and how this drives the services sector of the economy that employs the most people. It is the story of how the Muhammadu Buhari policies meet the people at their point of need, even if many of those people will never meet Muhammad Buhari in person. Another story to tell is that prosperity is already being delivered by these projects. Travel time is reduced in more than 50% in many of the places that we surveyed. Property values of landowners are appreciated by up to 30% in surveys conducted on land values where we have delivered infrastructure. These are some of the attempts by this government to push back against multidimensional poverty, because the local Oweto Bridge now reduces travel time to Abuja by 4 hours, and with the second Niger Bridge, it will now take only a few minutes instead of hours. Also now has a story of improved patronage to tell. An efficient import and export business can only help push back against poverty. With regards to the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund, I want to tell the story of the successful workmanship with the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority under the previous managing director, Mr. Uche Orji, and also Aminu Umar Sadiq and their management team. They were worthy managers and custodians of the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund. I cannot forget the story also of my working relationship with Your Excellency's office through your chiefs of staff, the late Abba Kyari of blessed memory, and of course the amiable Professor Ibrahim Gambari. With their collaboration, the Attorney General, and of course the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, we have delivered the second Niger Bridge. We have out of 365 kilometers of the Kano-Abuja Highway, and we have delivered 114 kilometers of the 127 kilometers Lagos-Ibadan Highway. Mr. President, please. There's a critical section in the 4-kilometer last mile to Lagos, and it's technical, but what has delayed the release, we found black cotton soil under the pavement, and we have decided that we will remove it and we will replace it so that we do a proper job instead of a hurried commissioning. So that will be deferred to the next administration, and the expected completion date is 30th of June. But it is now my pleasure, sir, to invite you, Your Excellency, to dedicate and hand over the following projects for public use. The first is the Zamfara Federal Secretariat, Guzo, the Bayelsa Federal Secretariat, Yenigua, the Anambra Federal Secretariat in Oka, the Econ Bridge in Cross River, the Loco Oweto Bridge linking Nasarawa and Benue. And because my colleagues in Cabinet and the governors of the Southeast who have spoken to me have decided that the second Niger Bridge must have a name, in consultation with them, we have decided that we will also declare open the Muhammadu Buhari second Niger Bridge, linking Anambra and Delta. And of course, 200 kilometers of Kaduna-Kano dual carriageway. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention.
And I would like to invite the Chief of Staff to please step forward here to speak on behalf of His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State.
He has directed me to first and foremost, on behalf of the government and the good people of Delta State, congratulate Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief for the official commissioning and handover of the Muhammadu Buhari Bridge linking Asaba, Delta State, and Onitsha in the Anambra State. The importance of this bridge needs not to be overemphasized. First, it will help boost our economy. It will help ease the ease of doing business between Delta State and Anambra State. In addition to that, we are aware it will boost our economy, create jobs, and work for our people. On that extent, I want to say thank you, Mr. President. For us, it is a promise made and a promise kept. Once again, congratulations. God bless people of Delta State. God bless Anambra State. And God bless all of Nigeria. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am here personally overjoyed. I speak on behalf of my people, the great people of Anambra State, and I would also say, speaking on behalf of our global people, the southeast of Nigeria. Today is a day of joy. We've come to express our gratitude, boundless gratitude. I am personally overjoyed, and in fact, this is the reason I missed the commissioning of Dangote refinery yesterday, because I had to be here personally. My flight was supposed to return today, and I didn't want to take any chances to be here today because history is being made. The people of the Southeast have agitated, we've complained, we have petitioned, and so on about 5 key projects, infrastructure projects, that are supposed to be game changer for the economies of the Southeast. One is obviously the dredging of about 3 channels that will give the Southeast access to the Atlantic to be able to bring in their goods direct to the Southeast. The second happened to be the second Niger Bridge. And the third is what we'll say as the expressway that will link from Anambra here direct to Lokoja, and that will actually open up the east in 3 hours. We'll be at Abuja. And the fourth happened to be the gas pipeline that has largely bypassed the Southeast. And the fifth, obviously, the railway line that we have been agitated. Of these 5, it is our pleasure, overjoyed today in the Southeast, that we have come to take good to one of them, and the major one at that. And that is the second Niger bridge. President Muhammad Buhari, I think as you leave office, the Southeast will remember you. And from what we've heard from the Honorable Minister, my brother and friend, Fashola, about the various infrastructure projects being commissioned here and there, and the twilight of living, it will not be inappropriate to call you Mr. Infrastructure. And for us, this is a promise really delivered. We're really overjoyed, at least this one off. We'll have the other three, the other four. And with the incoming president, President-elect Soludo will be sworn in on Monday, we'll then come with the other four shopping because, and as we hope, probably the rest of the other four will be checked off in the coming 4 years or thereabout. I think today there is nothing else other than to express our profound gratitude for the Asaba. There's no point belaboring the importance of this bridge. People describe it as a game changer. For Asaba, Delta and Anambra, it becomes like the twin cities of New York and New Jersey. That's what has been created. Fundamental change, creating, catalyzing new axis of prosperity. And we hope the other ones, other jigsaw part of the puzzle will be fixed, and then the Southeast will get up and run economically. We want to once more express our profound gratitude and say, thank you very much, Mr. President and the federal government, the ministers and your government for delivering on this important project. Keep on, and thank you very much, and congratulations as you leave office. Thank you very much, Julius Becker, you did a great job.
New both at home and in diaspora. That is, second Niger bridge is today a reality. It's a thing of joy. This bridge is the main economic actor between the people of Southeast and the neighboring zones. This bridge is not linking only Delta State and Anambra State. This bridge is the only link between the old Eastern region and the old Western region, and indeed the outside world. We have been here since after the war. We've cried to government after government that we needed to forget the horror of moving from Lagos to Southeast. The horrifying period of staying 5, 7, 8 hours at the head bridge. Sometimes staying 2, 3 days during the Christmas season to come home. Governments came and left, made promises that were not fulfilled. Today we are celebrating a man who came even when inadvertently he asked for our vote, we did not give him vote. He made a promise that was supposed to be fulfilled after voting for him. And now he fulfilled the promise even when we didn't vote for him. This great man is my hero. Every nation must have a hero. If you remember France, you remember Charles de Gaulle. And critical infrastructures are named after heroes. If you remember Turkey, you remember Ataturk. If you remember Singapore, if you call Singapore, you remember Lee Kuan Yew. And so many other great nations. Nigeria today, with the naming of the second bridge, Niger Bridge, after President Muhammad Buhari, he is a hero for me, and indeed, the people of Southeast. So I'm very happy that this second Niger Bridge today is called the Muhammad Buhari Bridge. It's a thing of joy. I'm indeed very glad. We used to cry, moving from one point of Southeast to the other. But under the Federal Ministry of Works, working with President Muhammad Buhari, at least relatively, the Southeast is accessible and becoming equidistant from any point you are to any point you want to go. So for me, I am joyed, and the tears you see on my face are tears of joy. And indeed, I want to congratulate you the President General of Johannes and Obama to congratulate that we have now second Niger Bridge a reality. I want to thank my brothers, governors, the governor of Ebonyi State, the governor of Enugu State, the governor of Abia State, of course, our brother, the governor of Anambra State, hosting us this afternoon, and myself, the governor of Imo State, on behalf of the people of Southeast, both at home and in diaspora. Mr. President, we are indeed very grateful. Thank you, and thank you very much indeed.
As Julius Berger, of course, it's an honor to be part of this success story, which we have delivered here in Anambra and the Delta State, linking both states, not only the states, also the east and the west, and it was mentioned also the east and the north of Nigeria, to allow growing of business, traffic flow, to ease the traffic flow, and to do a great job to the communities here. But also my regards to my colleagues on the Bucha-Kano Road, the opening there from Kaduna to Kano, also a major milestone for the administration of Muhammad Buhari. Thank you for your support, and especially thank to the federal government and the trust to Julius Berger, to the Federal Ministry of Works, to the Minister Fashola, to the Federal Ministry of Finance and the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, who managed the financing of these projects, the PIDF. Thank you also to the controllers of the Federal Ministry and to the communities who enabled us that we could deliver these projects in time. Thank you all and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Of our tenure, we still render developmental services as we hand over 3 bridge projects, 3 federal secretariat projects, and 1 road project. These are only symbols of our efforts and commitment to upgrade, renew, and expand Nigeria's stock of infrastructure. We do not act on infrastructure by accident. It has been a deliberate choice for our government as a tool to fight poverty, to create economic growth and employment, and to open the path of prosperity for our people. I am not oblivious of the concerns and debates about our stock of public debt. Those concerns are legitimate and in many instances well-meaning. Many of the debts are tied to projects and are transparent and verifiable. What I have not heard enough of, truths about the wealth and prosperity of many nations, especially post-war Europe. That wealth was built largely on infrastructure and on debt redeemed over decades. Some of the projects are commercially self-liquidating. Without investing in infrastructure, the road out of poverty is much tougher. So, as we look at the debt profile, I urge us to also look at the assets and investment profiles, some of which was paid for by debt and some by investment income. In 8 years, I am proud to say that we have doubled Nigeria's stock of infrastructure to GDP from about 20% to over 40%, and that is no small undertaking. This happened when global oil prices plunged to almost zero. When we encountered a recession that was not predicted, when we dealt with pandemic that was unforeseen, and when we are still grappling with the global effects of an ongoing war in Europe. The projects that we hand over today, apart from others such as rail, sea, and airports, gas pipeline projects that have been previously completed, symbolize our country's sharp focus on delivering prosperity. First, let me speak of the 3 bridges. The Econ Bridge is meant to strengthen around the Calabar port and free zone and facilitate transport connectivity from the south-south through the north-central to the northeast. This is a bridge across the river itself. Next is the second Niger bridge, which has been long in the making and is certainly now a reality. It is a bridge of choice across the river Niger to bring relief to those crossing from the southeast to southwest. And finally, the local Oweto Bridge across the river Benue to provide a shorter connectivity for those traversing from Benue to Nasarawa and the Federal Capital Territory. It cuts off travel through Bulgaria and provides connectivity to Kebbi and to Abuja. These are truly bridges of connectivity, interaction, and integration across major rivers of commerce and opportunity such as the river Niger, Benue, and the Cross River. These are frontal efforts to address multi-dimensional poverty instead of lamenting about it. These bridges reduce travel time, improve business efficiency, and service delivery time. It is my honor and pleasure to declare them open for public use, and I wish all those who travel and traverse them safe journeys and pleasant travel experiences. Similarly, I have the honor to hand over for safe motoring the Kano to Kaduna section, comprising over 200 kilometers out of the 365 kilometers Abuja-Kano highway. While work continues on the 165 kilometers stretch of Abuja to Kaduna, the completed section is proof of our investment choices. The Abuja-Kano Road, the second Niger Bridge, and the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway were all funded partly from our dividend income and from investment in the NLNG repatriated funds from overseas and recoveries from proceeds of crimes successfully prosecuted at home. This is an example of the change that we promise to invest dividend income in visible assets that last for generations and put proceeds of crime to public and enduring use of the country. Our anti-corruption approach does not end in courts. Stolen and recovered assets are utilized for the common good. The Federal Secretariats in Oka, Yenagoa, and Gusau are proof of our commitment to complete as many projects as possible that we met. They resonate with our desire to reduce the cost of governance by bringing federal civil service servants under one roof for efficient service delivery. This will begin to produce our rent expenditure for office fees. I have approved the recommendation to dedicate these secretariats in honor of some illustrious citizens who have served our country. I therefore now have the honor to declare Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jefferson, Federal Secretariat in Bayelsa State, Yenagoa. Ebele Okeke, Federal Secretary in Oka, Anambra State. And Malaye Haya Gusau, Federal Secretary in Gusau, Zamfara State. All countries for public use. Thank you for listening, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I will make one comment out of context. I have been sitting with some dictators in the Executive Council. One of them, I saw this film, sitting there, Dr. Ndege. The other dictator is the Minister who works in the House and who names the bridge without consulting me. Thank you very much.
We have called on the Almighty. We have asked for a leader, not a ruler. And now,
On behalf of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, we unveil this flag for the official commissioning of the second Niger bridge that has been today renamed Muhammadu Buhari second Niger bridge.
Hey, Baba.
In doing this unveiling, we present this bridge for the youth of the people of Nigeria, for their prosperity, in the name of Jesus Christ, our blessed Son, our Lord. Amen.
Thank you.
Again, today, the 23rd day of May 2023, we commissioned this bridge and its ancillary roads for use by the people of Nigeria, especially the people who is crossing from Onitsha to Asaba and vice versa, for you, for the economic prosperity, and for upliftment of people from poverty, and we do so in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.